Tradespotting. That's me, that's the show, that's the wonderful experience you're about to have. You will 100% benefit from this video. There's information in it you're definitely not aware of, and an introduction to the GameStop chart in a way you probably have never seen it before. There's also an incredible move coming on LivePerson. Couple of confirmations left, but an awful lot of confluence suggesting they're about to happen. So you're going to want to watch this video. You're probably going to want to hit the like button. If you do, I appreciate that, and you. So first up, into the charts, and what have we got? It's LivePerson. Well, we'll begin with the bearish case here. I'll point to information on the screen and let me know if you understand what I'm saying. There is price action, mostly contained within those blue lines. They are a pennant. Price action within that pennant failed to make it back above a 236 whence it came. Whence it came was a big flag pull, and so the pennant and the pull together give you a bear flag. As it didn't hold that 236, it isn't a high and tight bull flag, so the measured move therefore from the pennant is what we'll be using for now. It takes you to a 1618 within a fib channel, perfectly encompassing price action. When price gets there, what's going to happen? Well, just above my head, you see a number of harmonics. That's the D point. It's suggesting of a potential entry, and we're awful close to where that's going to be. The targets on the back end of that, I'd tell you all about it, but I've got to go to the dentist. So we'll go back to that chart in a minute, but I'd like to introduce you now to this GameStop. You might not have seen it this way, a little bit topsy-turvy. Some people might say, hey Tradespotting, what are you doing with GameStop upside down? Well, this shows you a Gartley, a crab, a couple of important harmonics that suggest there'll be a reversal in price action. It definitely is a little dangerous. We talked about this from $28.30 or so on the Discord. Risk is on. These two harmonics suggest a retracement to $20. If 20 doesn't hold, it's going to 18. If that doesn't hold, it'll go test 12, 10, and 8. Horrific, horrific news to hear that. Tradespotting, why don't you hype up GameStop? If you watched my videos recently, you'll know we talked about the potential for it to go to 27, 28. Here it is. So this is a very important chart. The artifacts you see there suggest a very high probability of a pullback, and while the trend hasn't changed yet, it definitely suggests risk is on. So the better entries were below here, not just because you'll make more money on the rise up, but because managing risk from these levels is incredibly difficult when you're facing a period of volatility, prices at resistance, and there's elements about the chart that suggest it could come back down, and there's an awful lot of elements about this chart that suggest that. The saving grace for GameStop is the week has not yet closed. Hold above 25.25, that's a green candle on the weekly. There are other important areas to look to. Even breaking 27 at this stage is a little bit dangerous. We're blessed in the Discord to be surrounded by some fantastic traders. I am so proud of you guys. Thanks very much for being part of the team. And most people who are interested in GameStop and serious about their investment know who Wiki Wilkes is. A big member of the community, and he's chipped in very well to give people a great understanding of the implications from the option chain there on the Discord. So get yourself over there, join the team, be a part of people making a real difference in their accounts and in their education, and for each other, be one of those people. Right, so this is the GameStop chart. It's very, very dangerous. Often people get really upset with me saying these things. The truth is, there's nobody you'd rather hear it from, because I'm impacted by this as much as you are. I know that's true. And we must respect the technical analysis because it allows us to manage risk. Managing risk is how you make money as a trader. Okay, so that's the GameStop chart. Lots to talk about there. Happy to come back and talk about it some more. If you've got any questions about that particular formation you see there, either of those harmonics, or why it is that $20 is the target, definitely ask me. Does that mean it's going to break down? No, it could go on, but it's at resistance. And if the resistance holds, then price will go and test support. And support could be as low as $20. That's facts. Okay, so now back to LivePerson. We were talking about this here on the 5-minute time frame to make the point about this pennant, that fib channel, and the fact that it all comes on the back of a very, very large harmonic. Let's go up now to the hourly time frame. Here is that breakdown, all of these harmonic resonances coming together with this potential entry point in around, let's call the range 64 cents to 79 cents. Now you'll be familiar with those numbers anyway, but there's also the entry on this potential harmonic right down to the bottom of the PRZ, the potential reversal zone. Beyond that level, the formation becomes invalidated and we'd look to other factors. But at this point, there is a heap of confluence suggesting the trade to the top side will be magnificent. Now, there's various ways of looking at it. You could take an entry above 149. At that point, you would look at the weekly time frame, and I'll point this out to you here. On the weekly time frame on LivePerson, especially if you've got the Rocket Outcrop Toolkit, which does all the hard work for you, you've recovered a 50 simple period moving average. Breaking out of this formation, pushing to the top side, you can see the important levels of resistance. 240, that sort of area, that's important. Down in the 4 hour, making these quick moves between the time frames. As you can see, there's the 200 period moving average coming in at around 111. Let's say that's in at around $1 by the time price reaches back up towards these levels. Then you've got a first area of resistance. You've got that followed by the important nexus on price at 149, which if price goes through will also be defeating the center line on a channel, breaking resistance horizontally, putting in a higher low on the macro time frame, forming the third valley on 3 rising valleys, which will come after the back of a W reversal on the bottom information. Altogether, the probabilities there really start to stack up. If price breaks through 149, next target will be 170 and change, and then the full expression of that harmonic will take you back towards 240 again. That will also be closing a gap, breaking a previous high and confirming an uptrend, at which point price will go on, test another downward sloping diagonal. If it breaks that, it'll go through and create a solid signal for a bump and run reversal, which will lead to an astronomical rise in price. So I've said all that now. The reason for my belief that price might do that is entirely based upon the technical analysis, that is the probabilities presented by price action based on its prior behavior. That is all of what is contained in that chart. No magic, no hocus pocus, and nothing that I'm inventing. It's all there and all for you to discover if you want to. If you want to learn how, I have a course. You can learn all about how to trade at Technical Analysis and risk management at www.technicalanalysis.school. I'd urge everyone to check that out. Managing your trades, understanding the importance of price action, working the fundamentals into your thesis, and knowing that the entirety of all knowledge that can be known about a stock, either publicly or otherwise, is all reflected in price at all times. This particular situation and this particular trade on LivePerson has a very easy risk management zone because price is at support levels. And the trade setups that are suggested by these formations provide a risk management zone. So it's a very accommodating situation on the chart for a trader looking for an entry. The same is true about the fidelity of the data and the accuracy and honesty with which I'm representing it on the GameStop chart. Just quickly open that up. But price is at resistance, so it's completely the opposite situation from a risk management perspective. Okay, so now back to LivePerson. Finish off this conversation, make this important point. We've talked about the 4 hour, the daily. Let's go back to the 1 hour. Here you've got a bigger picture of the harmonics, and you can see why it is that I suggest an entry back at these levels. It'll have defeated the bearish move, it'll have put in a higher low. If all of that's true and price breaks above 149, then it'll be going on to test a previous high and likely exceeding it, which puts it in a gap and creates an extremely big target on price. But that and that downward slope and resistance, that's interesting, but that isn't the entirety of what's going to be relevant to price action here. On daily time frame, 200 period moving average, found resistance at it, break above that, obviously very significant. Having tested it once, not broken it on the first pass, come back, recover it again, that would be long-term bullish. The weekly time frame, did we talk about this? We did, we made a number of important points here. Recover the 50 simple, and then you go through this important gap, close in at around 240. You've got another important level of 50% retracement up at around 556. That's confluent with our support and resistance lines at the breakdown. Another gap starts just below there. It closes in at around 850, and then your golden pocket retracement in at around $10. $10 is very, very likely at this stage, if prices to make it through that $5 level, because it would have confirmed it was going through a 236, gone through the 50% fib, and likely goes to test the typical reversal point. Nobody wants to short it from the 50% fib if it's not at an important level resistance, which it claims, I would say price would likely not be, having tested support, very, very significant support. It'd be going on for a real level of resistance. So the golden pocket retracement would be the sort of area you might anticipate price going to. And if that breaks, there's not really a strong level of resistance there either. You'll be a little bit in no man's land, and price could easily then float up and test the 200 period simple moving average on the weekly time frame, which is at $20. So, in the kindest possible way, and with the most genuine possible heart, I ask you, what will you do in future if it becomes true that you watched a video today suggesting LivePerson and GameStop could go to $20 from opposite directions? What would you do in that instance? How would you react to having seen this video? And is there a way that you can capture any topside moves in GameStop while also preventing a loss from your hard work so far? Is there a way that LivePerson can offer you a low risk entry so that if the price does move as anticipated, you're able to benefit from it without costing a lot should this not happen? I can tell you there is, and everybody on Discord will be happy to help you find it. No regrets. Thank you very much for watching. Definitely check out the Discord. Check out www.technicalanalysis.school. Find us at www.discord.gg/rockyoutcrop. And be good to each other, especially if you've seen each other at either of those places. A friend of yours is a friend of mine. Invite them along to the show. Hit the like button. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you all on the Discord. How's this going to go down? It's the truth though.